as the message about being black need to be spread around, we need to stop trying to compete with each other with the information that we trying to share with our people and share it amongst our people alike. We on this narrow ass path like everybody who's black and trying to inform others of what it means or the idea of being black. It seems like we all on this narrow path trying to compete to see who's gonna get up this road. When if we stood on side of each other, we would make a path. The same way when people walk through grass for a long time, you start carving paths in the grass and you start creating little walkways where instead of going one behind each other, let's stand on side of each other. Why can't we stand on side of one another and walk up the hill together as man? That's unity. That's unity. Speaking of unity, this is where we about to be forced to unite, but we need to have some ideology that we gonna unite under. Even if these people put us in a situation, which they are, that we gonna have to be able to think our way out of it. We need to be on one accord, which is an ideology that we come up with. Now there's a lot of information, there's a lot of people who have a lot of good information. But at this time, we're not utilizing the information efficient enough to get to the people who don't look like those people. And what I mean by that is sometimes we get caught up in our own buffoonery as we see one another as others. By the way we dress, by the way we talk, and we got a problem with others. Because somehow we done put it in our mind that others don't understand us. Others don't get where we coming from. But those others that dress different than you, that look like you, they come from the same place. And as we all going to the same place, we all need to be on one accord. And the place we going is into a tight-knit community. These people are not trying to give us nothing. And I think the problem that we have as black people is we're not really dealing with ourselves psychologically. Yeah, we can all analyze situations and we got enough information that we see what's going on, but psychologically we're unable to reach the people, the majority of the people that still need to make a lot of change. Intelligence is something that no one can see. It has to be heard. When you take the time to analyze the situation, you gotta also understand the psychological aspects of how you got there. And we done got in this situation because a lot of our intelligence was obscured from us. We began looking at other people for answers, for ideas, and life became created around them. Right now, it's to a point where we either getting along with what they say or they're trying to make it criminal to oppose them. A look doesn't show intelligence, and we need to be able to display the intelligence for others like us to see as an example to follow. I got this I got this story I'm about to put out. It's called Obscured Intelligence. I'm just gonna read it and put it on some type of form of video because everybody don't read, because we're not taking the time to teach one another how to do things that we know how to do. Then some of us are being left behind when it comes to picking up on the way words are put together and missing out on a lot of information that nobody can always take the time to tell you. You have to tell yourself.
From a psychological standpoint, we must be able to deal with what our minds have been presented. Come to some sort of terms with life as our perceptions are reflections of our decisions. If we are unable to clearly identify that which needs to be recognized, that's a problem. Without the proper perspective, our choices would be based on misconceptions that we've accepted. Now, to admit that we suffer from psychological trauma is like admitting to telling a lie, or consenting to someone else's lies because you're too fearful to face the truth. Well, truth be told, you don't have to be a certified psychologist to correctly analyze someone's life. As we're all given tools to assist us in gaining a perspective, we each possess the ability to administer therapy. A healing that desperately needs to take place in many of the minds of our people. People who have obviously lost their ability to gain a clear perspective of their own, which consequently makes them dependent on others. And since many of us can't afford to see a shrink, instead of our problems fading, they continue to grow, causing our judgment to become cloudier as we make more irrational decisions due to our uncertainties. From a psychological standpoint, we must be able to deal with what our minds have been presented. And one of the ways we begin to do that is by clearly establishing our own perspective with a philosophy that makes sense.
The name of that story was Obscured Intelligence. I named that because this is something that you get from inside. This is a feeling that you feel, and it causes you to want to do something. It gives you the why you need to be this type of person. And for a lot of us, we haven't been told why. We haven't came up with why. And for the male species, why is in your DNA. As they use these chromosomes, X and Y, to identify a male child, Y is in your DNA. And once we are able to clearly identify to these young men why they need to be these type of young men, it's gonna make sense to them, and they gonna understand why. Because they gonna be the ones that's gonna teach the next group of young men as they become full-grown men how to be a man. This has been missing in the black community. This has been missing in the black household. This has been missing in the mind of black men. Once we re-establish ourselves as black men, we can begin to show our family the ways of the black man. And the ways of the black man is truly the ways of the sun, as we're the original son, the original sons of the sun. As we take our guidance and direction from our Father, the Most High, who created the perfect system when it comes to relationships, that our Mother Earth is able to produce us as I'm able to produce this. And as I produce this, the object is for others to emulate. One.